5 minutes left here in the second quarter. A 41-15 advantage for the Northwest Rangers. They're in powder blue, leading 41-15.
Find us, well, anywhere.
Five minutes left here in the second quarter. A 41-15 advantage for the Northwest Rangers. They're in powder blue, leading 41-15 over the Blue Mountain Christian Lady Toppers. The JV side for the NAIA squad out of Holly Springs, Mississippi, doing their best to hold up against a Rangers squad that comes in 7-1 and feisty on the defensive end as well. More backcourt pressure. They'll feed it forward into the center of the floor for Sakura Tate. Tate has some range, short, and a one-shot trip. Amos the rebound. Mitchell in transition to the cup. Just got the roll. You know, the Rangers tonight, Matt, have been a little cavalier with those lay-ins.
A couple, what would you call them, toilet bowls that kind of rolled around. You're like, is it going in? And eventually it does.
I have never heard it called a toilet bowl. Maybe that speaks to the quality of the shot. I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to say
just swirling around, that's all.
A cautionary lap, yes. they took a lap before they decided to make the plunge.
Their fast break offense has been really nice tonight, and I think that's been fueled by their defense. It just feels like they've got a lot of easy looks in transition, and that should be – they didn't call that over and back. Okay.
I mean –
They say it's a juggle. I mean, I still think it's over and back, but okay.
Hayes trying to wall up. Beaten that time by Marley Britt. Solid work by Britt, the Brookhaven, Mississippi native. Northwest leading 43-17 with 4:20 to play in the second. Down low pass there. Jenkins on the find to Hayes.
Tyler, we were talking about, as we have a almost steal by Jenkins, we were talking about Northwest going for the century mark.
If you get blocks like that from even your backcourt, like Kayla Mitchell, you might get there.
Out of bounds. So last year, Northwest high for season points of the game was 94. Season high so far this season is 93. The last time they hit triple digits in a game,
it's beyond last year, I guess.
You got to go back to January 8th, 2019 against Blue Mountain. 103 that night.
So this would be pre-COVID. Okay.
This would be pre-COVID, correct.
All right.
They actually scored 100 twice in 3 games against Blue Mountain that year. One in November, one in January.
Wow. Off the miss that time from Britt. Gathered again by Mackenzie Amos. Amos.
Nice move.
Good slashing work in transition. Couldn't get the finish, but cleaned up. No, not that time for Jenkins. Wanted it, didn't get it. I am really impressed so far just with the floor game for Mackenzie Amos. I mean, I know it's not there necessarily in the point column yet, but she's doing a lot of dirty work.
No, and I think that another near steal, yes, actual steal.
Back out for Mitchell. Decides against the quick shot. Now she'll trigger. Off target, Hayes, and the cleanup.
I think, to go back to your point about Mackenzie Amos, she's played with great pace, and I feel like when she's had the chance to push the ball in transition, she's created some really good looks for some of her teammates, even if she is not in the scoring column herself yet.
Tate got the friendly high hop.
Not supposed to get that on the road.
Not usually. 47-19. Blue Mountain back within 28. Under the 3-minute mark, closing in on halftime. We'll take a look around the MAC when we get to the break. Hayes looking for the turnaround. No.
Oh, bully ball.
Yes.
Bully ball from Marion Jenkins.
Still full court pressure for Angel Wright to contend with. She'll take the long two and drain it. 21 now here.
Tyler, going back to, sorry to cut you off, Mackenzie Amos, who just brought the ball up. She only played 4 minutes the other night. She's already up to 9 in this game. So again, as that's a nice turnaround jumper there. Good opportunity tonight to get reps for a lot of different people and put them in different roles.
I think if I'm gonna pick maybe a non-starter, I'm most excited to see JCA Hayes just because she hasn't had the basketball-specific reps in the last couple of years playing volleyball.
What an athlete, though, right?
Incredible.
I mean, to go from
leader in kills this year to go for a pretty good volleyball team, by the way. Shout out to the Northwest volleyball side.
It does make sense as that shots off the mark. It does make sense. A lot of volleyball, so we have a foul as well. A lot of volleyball skills do translate to basketball, but
Right.
it's not easy to just jump from one season into the next and produce.
No, it's a lot of conditioning, serving both Allison Burchett and Latera Williams. But good for JCA Hayes to be willing to do that. 51-21, fully a 30-point margin now in the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. Mitchell wants to go to work. Coming off a 7-point effort on Monday against East Mississippi. Jenkins had the pass blocked right back in her face. 10 on the timer as Mitchell works 30 feet away. Mitchell stalking her prey on the drive. Tried to dish across the lane. Too many arms in the way. I like the thinking for Kayla Mitchell, being unselfish.
I thought she was pulling for three for sure.
Looked that way initially. No look inside. Tate, free for a 2, missed it. Amos. Mackenzie Amos up to 8 rebounds in this first half. Drilling her way in, called for the shuffle.
Yeah, again, but that's another example right there. Even though she eventually turned it over, like the pace that she created, confidently getting into the lane, that's going to pay dividends more times than not.
So it's with Blue Mountain Christian. This is Yasmin Norflet. They'll push it inside for Tate. Trying to go for the spin move. Got around Sandifer. That's step 1. Step 2, making the basket. Not so much. Amos. Good find for Lee. Transition 3 is off the mark. Northwest going to chase it down in the backcourt. Off the deflection. You could once again go for a 2-for-1 here if you want it. They'll slow it down. Jenkins. Lee. Too strong. Sandifer. Still no. Sandifer.
I think Latera Williams just got thrown out of the game.
Wow.
That was a pretty quick 2 texts there.
1 and 2 for Timothy Hackett. He'd had enough of whatever Latera Williams said. You know, I never know, Matt, what exactly gets said. I just figure they said one more word than they were allotted.
Yeah, usually a magic word gets thrown in there.
It's.
I think I heard him. I couldn't hear him exactly. It sounded like he was kind of asking for the second tech. So it will be Vaquella Pimpton the rest of the way, leading Northwest by the looks of it, although Latero still has not left the floor.
So 19.7 seconds to go in the second quarter. And
These seem to be, I'll see you in the locker room after the game, high fives.
Maybe so.
I just heard me yell terrible at the ref one more time. And the ovation as he walks off.
There is a Bronx cheer there. Free throw good for Norflet. And the second as well.
I think it's one of those things, too,
She's going to have 4 here, I believe.
I think it's one of those things, too, where I imagine if it was a closer game, he would probably keep it in check a little bit more, but this looks like a game that you never know what could happen. But it's a game they look to have in hand, and it's good to show that you have your players' backs at times, especially when you feel like the call is not going their way. So
solid work that time at the free throw line for Yasmin Norflet to bring it down to a 51-25 advantage. So as Matt mentioned, it will be Vaquella Pimpton taking over the reins for the rest of the action. Northwest on top 51-25. Deep in the second quarter. Right. Rainbow jumper off target.
just active hands, man, everywhere the entire game. That's a foul.
And a block on Angel Wright. You do see that double technical sometimes just to like light a fire in your team. You see it a lot of times, I think more often when a coach senses, yeah, the team's a little listless, but
No, none of the above. I mean, I think overall you got to be pretty happy with their performance.
I'm inclined to agree. Jenkins at the horn, not there. But Northwest has to be happy at least going into the half with a 51-25 edge over Blue Mountain Christian's JV squad. So far, Matt, I think that's what we expect of this team.
Yeah, so far. I mean, you got to love the defensive energy, the fast break offense. They've been stifling. Blue Mountain really has not gotten anything easy. The size has played a huge role. So, yeah, doubling up at the half, on pace for 102 points. I think you got to be pretty happy with that. And now Vaquela Pimpton will get a whole half to kind of run the show and see what she's made of as well.
We'll see if Matt is applying the broadcaster jinx now rather than me for the century mark. We've got a lot of basketball still to play. We'll come back in a minute here at the half. It is 51-25, Northwest on top of Blue Mountain Christian on Ranger TV.